A statue is not a history lesson. You may have noticed recently there's been lots of talk of statues, what a statue is, what it means, various groups arguing over those various concepts, whether a statue should be thrown in a harbour or not, or why suddenly all of a sudden loads of Confederate general statues suddenly appeared during the civil rights movements in the 60s. You know, that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm not here to give you lessons on politics or, respect for others who don't necessarily look like you, but what I'm really here to do is just tell you about words and what they mean. So, shall we get on with the meaning and the etymology of the word statue? The word statue can trace its origins back to Latin, to the word status, which means standing position. There is an earlier etymology which goes right back to that sort of slippery thing that we call Proto-Indo-European, which basically means to stand. That all seems fairly innocuous until you start to build some context around it. The first clue, my curious little kittens, comes from the word, that root word, status, in the Latin. So, shall we have a look at that? You see, that word leads to all sorts of other different types of words, which all sort of pertain to the same kind of thing. There's stature, which literally means height, but in quite a lot of contexts, you've probably heard it in the context I'm about to explain, according to the OED, someone's degree of eminence. So, their moral or political strength or context within society. So if they have stature, it means that they are high up. And then there's statute, which is, it's a written law or rule. Then there's statutory, which means required, permitted or enacted, usually within the case of, in the sort of context of law. Then there's statuesque, and I'm sure if you refer to someone as statuesque, you're sort of giving them a quality of dignity or beauty. And then finally, full circle, back round to the original word, there's status. Status is a word we use to denote someone's social ranking, their moral character, their stature within society, their relative importance. You see, statues are not history lessons. That's what libraries and museums and books are for. Statues are erected often as Statues are put up to, they're venerations, they're celebrations of people either alive or dead. We stick them right in the middle of our settlements in places where all of us kind of congregate around so that we can see them and we go, that person was great. They are statements to the world about what we believe in, who we are and what we are proud of. So there you go. Statues are not history lessons, they are statements. If you'd actually like a history lesson, I'd thoroughly recommend, when it opens after the apocalypse, which is happening right now, I'd thoroughly recommend going down to the M Shed, which is in Bristol's harbour, where that statue is no longer lying because the council retrieved it and will likely put it into some kind of museum collection, which is exactly where it belongs. You can go to the M Shed. They have an amazing, sad and very moving exhibition about the slave trade, about how damaging it was and what kind of wealth it brought people as well. It's a complicated story. Go and have a look at it. Statue's not going to tell you that. Anyway, that's it for me for this time. I'm afraid it wasn't that funny this time, but the whole statue thing isn't that funny. So next time I'll be talking about un and d and the difference, so as in unfurlough and defurlough. Which one do you use? How do you say it? Take care of yourselves.